These highlights are brought to you by Lynch Homes, building homes of distinction.
This afternoon we're at Millbrae for the top of the table Premier 1 clash between Ayr and Currie. Currie lead the table by 8 points, Ayr are second. This game means a huge amount to both sides. When they met here last at Millbrae it was a 3-all draw and the players could hardly walk off the field at the end. We don't expect this one to be any less fierce this afternoon. This is going to be some game of rugby. Scott Lyons leading Ayr out for what everyone knew was going to be a crucial game. But in the opening few minutes it was Currie who took command. Scrum half Richard Snedden snaffling the ball to take that quick tap penalty. Ball worked out to David Officer. Officer had Evan Hay on his elbow, and there was Jeff Caldwell after only 5 minutes. Well, they taught him well as a junior at Ayr, and he showed just what a classic finisher he still is. 10 minutes gone and Ayr getting a wee bit of momentum going. Ball from Richard McCallum to Nick Lavelle, an absolute cruncher of a tackle there. And David Officer picking up the loose ball, slipping it up to Jim Taggart, and Taggart going all of 55 yards in at the corner. 10 points to 0, 12 minutes gone. Was this going to be a runaway victory for Currie? Well, Ayr had other ideas. Richard McCallum getting in there, making the first up tackle. And Graham Hanna having a good look at that one and saying to Currie, no boys, you're coming in horizontal. Can he do that? Penalty Ayr. Nick Lavelle got Ayr on the board. 10 points to 3, 15 minutes gone. And Ayr starting to take the play deep into Currie territory. Currie defence pretty solid there, but this time, Graham Hanna spotted another wee infringement. Up stepped Nick Lavelle, over went penalty number 2. 10 points to 6. Just approaching the half hour, the crowd were loving this and it was intense. The physicality of this game was something pretty scary. Glenn Tippett picking up at the back there, trying to put AJ McFarlane through the hole, not quite making it again. The Currie defence absolutely solid. Damien Kelly knocking bodies out the way as he thunders on there towards the Currie line, but Currie pretty solid in defence. But then McCallum's ball to Nick Lavelle, and oh, beautiful wee shimmy and show and dive under the posts. Boy, did the Ayr players like that one. 33 minutes gone. Lavelle lined up the conversion of his own try. 13 points to 10. Ayr had come back from being 10-0 down after 10 minutes. What a second half in prospect.
These highlights are brought to you by Lynch Homes, building homes of distinction.
Into the second half, and the crowd as well as the players had to get their breath back. But Currie started off and they showed why they're league leaders. This is some very special team they've got here, and Ali Warnock taking play deep into the Ayr danger zone. Ball popped up to Scott Burnett, taken out by Scott Lyons, but handling on the ground, said Graham Hanna. Thanks very much, said Ali Warnock, who had no problem in pulling the score level at 13-all in the first minute of the second half. Currie by now with Graham Calder on for Richard Snedden. That scrum half, keeping the ball alive, asking serious questions of their defence, and although the defence held, they gave away the penalty, and in giving it away, it wasn't just 3 points, it was a yellow card for Damien Kelly, who was off the field for 10 crucial minutes. But even down to 14 men, Ayr quite determined that they weren't going to give anything away in this game. Ewan Logan having his own wee private battle there with Anton Edwards. Paul Burt coming in, Andy Adams and Andy Reekie guarding the fringes for Currie, but Ayr continued to thunder on. Young Gordon Reid looking for a chance there, and AJ McFarlane whipping the ball out to Lavelle. Johnny McClung on the line, Well tackled there by David Officer. But chance for the penalty. Up stepped Nick Lavelle. And after 53 minutes, it was all square again. There was no quarter being given and none being asked in this game. Red in tooth and claw rugby this was. And oh, yet another penalty. Nick Lavelle looking absolutely astonished. But as a result, not just of the penalty, but at the fact that Ben Colley had to walk for 10 minutes. He was in the sin bin. They're down to 14 men yet again. It was an opportunity for Currie that they weren't going to pass up. Looping ball out there to Ali Warnock, crunched by Paul Burke, but still getting the ball away to Mark Cairns. Cairns right into the red zone. Warnock back into the fray again, out to Jeff Caldwell. Caldwell and Warnock both held just short, but then lovely wee pass from Graham Calder. Waited till Officer was in position, and there was the Currie centre doing what he does so well. Over for a try that gave Ali Warnock not the most difficult of kicks to take Currie yet again into a 10-point lead with only 10 minutes to go. Surely Ayr could not come back from this one, but surely they did again. And with the crowd on their feet and desperate for another Ayr score, the ball was slipped up to Nick Lavelle, and you will not see many better tries than that. A sublime dummy, and in under the posts to give himself the simplest of kicks and take his tally to 23 points out of 23. Paul Burke and David Officer in confrontation there. That sums up what had been an absolutely marvellous game of rugby. The physical confrontation, the effort, the skill that was on display here had everyone in the crowd gasping and moving into the final few minutes. Well, Ayr 3 points behind and throwing absolutely everything into attack, and Currie digging just as deep to withstand the Ayr onslaught. And A.J. McFarlane working the ball out to Johnny McClung, unceremoniously dumped into touch there by Jeff Caldwell. That one got the crowd on their feet as well, but they really had something to cheer about as the game went into injury time. Ayr keeping up enormous pressure on the Currie line. Currie equally determined that they're going to keep Ayr out, and all the little private battles going on as Ayr edged closer and closer and closer to the line. Ball coming back for A.J. McFarlane, and he's taken out by Jeff Caldwell, but the penalty's been awarded. Quickly taken by Paul Burke, and he is taken out by Ali Warnock now. That was just a wee bit over enthusiastic by the Currie standoff, and he was given the yellow card for that one. Terrific take there by Scott Sutherland. Huge effort going in from the Ayr pack. The ball taken down, and under the post goes referee Graham Hanna with his arm raised. Penalty try to Ayr. In the lead, 2 minutes into injury time. Unbelievable stuff. Nick Lavelle banged over the conversion. And although there were a couple of heart-stopping moments in the final seconds, Currie never giving up. Just showing exactly why they're top of the league. Jeff Caldwell's kick ahead. Oh, you couldn't have written the script better. Marked by Nick Lavelle, the final act of the game. The Ayr arms raised aloft. Currie dejected, but both sides can be proud of putting on a display which has been a fantastic advert for Scottish club rugby.
It was massive in the way and the spirit and how we came back. I mean, being 10 points down with 10 minutes to go and scoring a try and a penalty try, I think is the only thing the referee did for us all game, you know. So no, our team there, I thought we were a good side, but I didn't realise what sort of spirit we had, and that today was phenomenal. I think 1-19, the guys were brilliant, and so great heart and everything else. So I'm absolutely delighted for everybody, delighted for the supporters, delighted for the committee. I've been fortunate enough to win big games like this, and the euphoria and everything in this tonight, it'd be great just to have a great party at the club tonight.
This is a match that will be talked about for a long time. The league is not yet settled. Both these clubs will have a big say in who takes the title. This is Ron Evans for Scottish Rugby Television at Millbrae.
These highlights are brought to you by Lynch Homes, building homes of distinction.